It's fall, y'all. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you can tell that the seasons are starting to change, and what was once warm is now getting cold. Of course, here in the Southern Hemisphere, that is reversing, but one way or another, on most of the planet, the seasons are starting to change, and for many of us, we are getting into the spendiest season of the year. 'Tis the season to be spending? How do you approach the last few months of the year, typically the spendiest months of the year, frugally? I've got 5 tips for you, and stick around to the very end for a bonus that you don't want to miss. Welcome, I'm Amy, and here at Frugal Over 50, I give you tips and tools for frugal living all year round. Hola a todos, el día de hoy les voy a compartir 5 tips para la vida frugal para esta etapa, esta parte del año. Number 1, if you haven't done so recently, this is a really good time to sit down again with your budget and make sure that you have your spending priorities where you want them. And I'm not talking here so much about your spending tracking. That's important too, but I think most of us in the frugal world tend to do that almost by reflex in one form or another. Here I'm talking about your short-term and medium-term spending priorities. This is the time of year when we are often targeted extra heavily with lots of ads, and we may be more susceptible to wanting to buy things because of the many seasonal changes and holidays that are coming. So it's really important that you start by looking at your budget, and you might even think about creating a separate little mini budget just for Christmas or just for fall or just for this entire season. For many of us, this season starts with back to school, whether it's for children or grandchildren, and then it goes into Halloween and general fall or autumn decor, seasonality types of things. And then it moves to Thanksgiving, especially if you are in the United States or in Canada. And then it moves into Christmas and then New Year's Eve. And so basically from the beginning of September until the end of the year, it's just one thing after another where we're being asked to spend money and celebrate and do all kinds of exciting things. I love this time of year, but I think it's important that we sit down with our budgets and think, what do I want to do with this time of the year? What do I want to do with Thanksgiving? What do I want to do with Christmas? And if you haven't done that already, or if you did it earlier this year, it's time to revisit that. I'm thinking about trying a new thing this year. Tell me what you think. I'm thinking of setting a whole budget category for that September through New Year's Eve period and just calling it fall and winter holidays, and then projecting out what I want to spend and thinking seriously about how much I want to allocate for each of these. And I haven't done this formally before. Do you formally budget, or do you just think generally for this time of year? Whichever way you do it, now's the time to revisit it, and tell me what you do down below in the comments. Number 2, this might be a great time of year to embark upon a low spend or a no spend period. Now, low spend and no spend periods don't ever mean that we spend zero money on anything. They generally mean that we spend money on our essentials, on our basics, but we don't allow ourselves to spend on certain perhaps frivolous things that we might otherwise have indulged in had we not set ourselves this low spend or no spend challenge. And so, for instance, if you have a habit of going into every bookshop that you see, whether online or in person, and getting a new book each time, it might be that instead you go to your local library and check out a book that is new to you each time you want to do that. It's that sort of change. And these may seem very small changes, but it could have a big impact on how you respond to all of that targeted advertising over the holidays, and it might help you to meet those priorities that you set earlier in your budget, because you're really being specific and focused about where you're spending your money in a way that really benefits you. Think about that low spend, no spend challenge, and tell me also, would you be interested in joining in some sort of a community no spend or low spend challenge, perhaps over the course of a couple of months? We've done savings challenges in the past, but we've never done a no spend, low spend challenge. Are you interested? If we get enough interest down below in the comments, I might see what I could come up with and see how we can do something together in this very busy, hectic season. Also, if you're getting value out of this video so far, would you give it a like? And if you haven't already, subscribe. It's the best way to support this channel and to help us to grow. Hit that notification bell so you'll get notified first of new videos, and head down below in the comments to tell me what you're looking forward to doing or experiencing this fall. Number 3, save what you would have spent. Let's say that you embark upon a low spend or a no spend challenge, and you say to yourself, let's use the example of the bookshop. I will not go online to buy books during the month of October. I will not go into bookshops to buy books during the month of October. I will instead go to the library to get my books during the month of October. That's your low spend challenge to yourself. During that month, let's say you're tempted to buy a book, and instead you go to the library and you check out that book or something similar. How much would that book have cost you? maybe it was a $30 hardback. Take that $30 that you would have spent and instead put it into savings. Now, putting it into savings could mean that you put it directly into a savings account. It could also mean that you use that to, say, pay down some debt, which counts as saving. You could also just take that $30 and stick it in a cash envelope, so at the end of the month, you can count your money and go, hee hee hee, that's how much I saved. But if you save what you would have spent, then you get two benefits. One, you get the item because you went to the library to get your book, so you have that, and you have the savings, you have that money at the end of the month that you can do anything that you want with, preferably save it for future you. Number 4, an absolute all-time frugal favorite, a classic. You all love this one. Shop in advance for the holidays. You all know this. Tell me down below in the comments, are you done with your Christmas shopping yet? I know you people. I know some of you were done last January. This is the place to brag about it. If, like me, you're the sort of person who thinks September is early enough, it's probably a good time to start thinking about Christmas. Think about the gifts that you want to get. It's definitely time to look ahead and think, when are the sales coming? So that if you have special people that you want to buy something special for, you can prioritize that through your budget and also prioritize it through your calendar so you know when you're going to buy ahead. And it's very exciting. And you have to figure out fun places to hide your presents so that you remember where they are and you don't lose track of them. And so your loved ones don't find them. This is where it gets exciting. This is where you get to be Santa Claus. This is where you get to take your priorities and your savings and all of the excitement of the season and really put it to the best frugal use. And this is where we, the frugal people, really shine. So I want to challenge you and celebrate you as you go out and you shop in advance for the things that you know you want to get for the holidays. We can do it, folks. Number 5, this one's a little more controversial, but I'm gonna stick with it. Treat yourself. Yeah, I know. I just said budget, save, do a low spend, etc., etc. I know. But I think, especially if you're watching this and you're a woman over 50 or you're interested in this community generally, you probably are a person who doesn't really treat yourself very often. Or if you do, it's in something very, very tiny. This is the time of year where you might find sales on something that you have really wanted for a long time. And you could take just a couple of months over your low spend challenge and save up for that item. Or this could be a season where you say, I'm not going to go to the library like I always do. Instead, I'm going to go into the bookshop and buy that book because I've checked it out 5 times from the library. I think I want to have it. I just want to keep it on my nightstand. This is a great time of year to do that. And I'm not asking you to treat yourself by buying yourself a yacht, but I bet there's something small that you've kind of been denying yourself because you're buying things for other people, you're taking care of other people, you're taking care of basic needs. This is a good time of year to prioritize small treats that really make you feel good, that really add value to your life. What came to your mind? I don't know what it is, but something popped into your mind and you feel slightly guilty about it and you're not sure you deserve it. And I'm telling you, you know what? You deserve it. And if you can't afford it right now, I completely understand. But you could do a no spend or a low spend or even a longer term savings plan and save up so you can indeed treat yourself that wonderful thing or those wonderful things that you want. What do you want to treat yourself? Tell me down below. Now, I promised you a bonus. The bonus is this. Over the course of this season in particular, consider where you can unplug. And I mean unplug in whatever way that matters to you. It could be that this is a good time to review your subscriptions and see what you can get rid of. And this could be paid subscriptions to things like streaming services. It could be just deactivating social media accounts that tend to target you with particular ads that you're really, really susceptible to. It could be getting off of a particular website that you tend to go to a lot for the news, for instance, but it makes you so unsettled that it makes you want to buy things on impulse to relieve that unsettled feeling. And I think that a lot of us worry that if we unplug, we won't understand what's happening in the world. But mostly what we miss out on is the alarm/advertising cycle, in which there is some sort of alarming bit of news followed by an advertisement for a product that's meant to make you feel better. And if you can just get out of that cycle of, I'm going to look at something alarming and then I'm going to feel tempted to buy something to solve the problem of feeling alarmed, and we can really prioritize what we want to do with our own lives. It doesn't mean that we don't care about the world. It doesn't mean that we don't care about our fellow human citizens. It means that we can really think carefully about our exact role in taking care of planet Earth, in taking care of our fellow citizens. And we can do this from a place of more confidence and more peace, better mental and emotional health, and we'll be less likely to spend on impulse, which then just creates this horrible cycle of I got to go back and be alarmed again, and then I got to spend more, and then I got to go be alarmed again, and then I got to spend more. Find things online, find things to read, find things to watch that make you feel good, that make you feel at peace, that bring you a sense of deep down comfort. You deserve it. I deserve it. It's part of the frugal legacy that we want to leave to the future. This is the time of the season when we sing about joy to the world. How do we bring it? I really believe that if we can unplug from the things that hurt us and plug into ourselves and the things that matter the most to us, we will be more ourselves, we will be more frugal, and we will take this whole season coming up as a time of enjoyment and as a time of deep peace. Peace and frugal living. Can they coexist? Yes. Should they coexist? Absolutely. So wherever you are right now on your frugal living journey, take the next step, whatever that next step is for you, and know that you are not alone, and I am so proud of you. Live frugally, change your life, and together we will change the world. I can't wait to see you again soon. Nos vemos pronto. Bye!